Happy Sunday evening. So, Tony Fett, who is Aquaman's favorite singer?
Jeez, I don't know. I give up. Who is it?
Billy Ocean. It's Sunday night and it's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. Welcome to Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. I'm Ryan Magic Lasso, and we're going to start out by taking attendance like we like to do on my channel. Let's say hello to Tim the Comic Collector. Scratch. Let's say hello to Comic Fu 2814. Scratch. Let's say hello to Tony Fett.
Hello.
Hello. Glad that you're here. Otherwise, I'd be doing the show solo.
Yeah, it's another Sunday. Happy to be here and talk comics. That's for sure. It's like the only time I ever get to talk books is I'm on the show talking with you guys.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you here. And if you're joining us on the rewind, we appreciate it very much. We'll be shouting out folks that are joining us here in the live chat, like the Simply Incredible podcast. What's up to you? Thanks for spending your holiday weekend here on our channel for Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. It's a treasury-sized edition show, and we'll explain what that means later on in the show today. So, Tony, how have you been since we've seen you last?
Oh, geez. So much has changed. Actually, nothing's changed. Although I am very excited for our local Comic-Con, even though it's a little over a month away, but some great talent has been announced in July. Very excited for it. This is a minor local convention, but overall still excited. I'm impressed with because it's a smaller con that's local, and they got some good talent in terms of comic book content. So I'm very excited for that.
Who do they have coming that you're excited about?
Number one, I would say Tim Seeley so far. There's rumors of other people coming, but so far that's confirmed. They even announced it on their own Instagram. Was Tim Seeley. He did Nightwing Rebirth, several issues of that. Most recently, Robins, King Shark. So lots of stuff. And there's all kinds of other stuff that he's doing within DC, but I'm not going to get into signed random issues like number 7 of some series. Sure. So I'm just going to stick with the number 1. So very excited for that.
Cool. Well, let's get Fanboys started out with some DC Comics news. What's been in the news?
Oh my gosh. So much. We got it finally. After 8 years of waiting, a Black Adam trailer has a release date. Remember, They announced he was playing Black Adam in July of 2014. Here it is, almost July of 2022.
And it's surprising that it's still the same cast, because a lot of times things get announced and that wait that long, and by that time they've recast somebody already.
Yeah, the fact that The Rock stuck it out this long is a testament to his dedication to this role and his belief in the DCEU, which is something that makes me excited, because I love dedication and loyalty like that. So very excited to see Hawkman, very excited to see Tornado, very happy to see Dr. Fate, all that. Very excited. All these characters that I just enjoy immensely are all coming together. So hopefully this will continue on into more DC properties.
Yeah, hopefully. So I hear that now that Discovery owns DC Comics, I hear that they are not happy with J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot for the lack of content that they've put out there, because they made this big multi-million-dollar deal with his company, and all this stuff was supposed to be coming, and Discovery's looking at this saying, where is it?
Yeah, you're right. And I forget what he was supposed to be making in terms of content.
They were talking about some type of a Batman property that would involve Matt Reeves. They were also talking about a new Constantine. They were talking about Madame Xanadu.
Oh, that's right. He was
And
doing all
none
the
of this
Justice.
stuff has shown up.
He was supposed to be doing a lot of the Justice League Dark stuff. I remember
Yeah.
now. Yeah, and it's makes me a little nervous because those are properties that I'm going to immensely look forward to in the future, especially for HBO Max. I want them to do well. I like having all the DC stuff in one place, and I'm okay with HBO Max exclusives. I got no problem with that.
Mhm.
And it's a shame because you know what? I think Swamp Thing had it been an HBO Max thing, it would have been great. I hope that they can hammer out the details and make those properties a reality.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because they're supposed to like be standalone properties, but come together at some point. Like the Constantine was supposed to come to Zatanna, which was supposed to come to
Yes.
Madame Xanadu, and all that. So that was something I'm looking forward to. That's a perfect segue because in the Constantine series, word on the street that one of the series regulars is going to be obviously Papa Midnight and Blue Devil.
Interesting.
So we'll see. That's Blue Devil and anything I think is really cool because the only thing he was ever part of that was any kind of live action was like the last 3 episodes of the Swamp Thing series.
I need to check that out. I never had a chance to see it.
You've never seen it? Oh,
I haven't. I need to.
It's
hello to the comic book G-Spot, Robert. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a happy weekend.
It's going to put you in quite the rock and a hard place because it's fabulous and you have to see it.
And
but
then you
know
you're not getting any more.
It's over. And then you're just like, well, now I'm mad, but I saw this great piece of, DC Comics.
Yeah.
So it's an emotional roller coaster. And it's an absolute shame that that's not getting any further attention. Yeah. So
I see that we have our first set look at Blue Beetle.
Yes. What do you think?
It looks pretty comic accurate from what I saw.
Completely agree. Especially in the mask, in the face. Because it's really hard to get like the no nose kind of thing. Because his face is kind of flat when he has his little scarab on. And this is a character that obviously I'm familiar with, but I don't do a whole lot of reading on. So I don't know a whole lot of his storyline. So we'll see if they keep it comic book accurate.
Yeah, I posted a Blue Beetle comic cover from Volume 7, which, believe it or not, Volume 7 was way back in the 80s, in the Copper Age, on my Instagram today. And I noticed that I have, like, the first, not all of them. I was missing 2 issues to have the run from the first 13 issues of Volume 7. And so I decided, well, let's just pick up those 2 issues that I was missing, which were right in the middle. I don't know why I didn't have those, but I have those on order now. So just to at least have a run from 1 through 13, although that series went on much further than issue 13.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I think the Blue Beetle issues I obviously I have Blue Beetle Rebirth up to now, but before that, I can't remember. I mean, I have Blue Beetle is something I don't have a whole lot of in my collection. And I bit down really hard on all the Rebirth titles. I was very excited for all that. So I'm familiar with that story, but that's kind of it. I do know that him and Booster Gold are good pals. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a Booster Gold cameo in this movie.
A blue and gold.
A blue and gold. That would be a lot of fun. That's something I could totally get behind.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So while we're talking about the movies too, in our DC Comics news, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial has finally wrapped up, and one of the big revelations that kind of came out of the trial is apparently Amber Heard's Mara character, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for those that don't want to know. I'm just, we'll talk about it probably for a minute here, but if you don't want to know, apparently with Aquaman 2, the character of Mara will get injured somewhere in the beginning of the movie and will require hospitalization, and then she'll show up healed at the very end of the movie. But a big fight scene was in the original script that was cut out in rewrites, and a lot of other character development. And from what it sounds like, now this part here doesn't come from the trial portion, but it sounds like Dolphin will be introduced in Aquaman 2 as maybe a potential type of a love triangle somewhere.
Interesting. Very interesting. I think we all heard that Amber Heard was out as Mira, which is a shame, by the way. Not that, we can't survive without Amber Heard. I'm talking about just for the character of Mira. Like, it's hard to have Aquaman without Mira because those two they go together so well. And I think, had hindsight have been 2020 and DC would have kind of known about what kind of lifestyle she was living outside of the movie world, they probably wouldn't have offered this role. I would have loved to see someone else step in if possible, but I agree that
they were saying that Johnny Depp wasn't the reason why she's not in the movie. There's no chemistry between her and Jason Momoa.
I heard that, yeah.
But the thing is, why wouldn't you have realized that either in
the
Justice League or in the first movie?
I don't know.
There, I mean,
yeah.
I saw someone else online say this, and I do have to agree with this. If they're going to end up recasting Mira eventually, which either I think they're going to get rid of the character, which I would hate for the exact same reasons that you said. But if they end up recasting the character, this movie isn't coming out for almost another year. If she has that small of a role in Aquaman 2, get a new actress and do reshoots.
Well, I vote, let's wait until after the Flash movie. Because
nothing. That Flash movie is coming out dead last now.
I know. But allegedly the Flash movie changes a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's, maybe they could somehow work that in, that Mara,
I see where you're going
is still Mara, but now she looks different. And then like they could somehow make that a storyline. Like
exactly what the Jackson Roy Kirk says, Mara on the wall. Yeah.
Who's the poopiest roommate of them all?
I did have to laugh, and I tend to think that he kind of did it on purpose, but at one point Johnny Depp mistakenly, as I say with my air quotes, he mistakenly referred to the Aquaman movie as Aquanet.
Aquanet. That's good. I didn't catch that. That's good.
Yeah.
More
news. I have more news to talk about. Do you have stuff that you want to talk about?
I just wanted to make a quick comment about the whole trial. Yeah. I just love the fact that Amber Heard's lawyer keeps bringing up these witnesses, because I use that term very lightly, because every time they do, it absolutely blows up in their face. Like they brought out Kate Moss as a character witness for Johnny Depp to be negative, and it turns out that was like the greatest thing that they ever did was bring out Kate Moss, and Amber Heard was alleging there's all kinds of domestic abuse and whatever, and Kate Moss like, no, like that's not true at all. Yeah. It's just really funny. But yeah, you can talk all day about the cool stuff that comes out of the trial, and I've been enjoying keeping up on it. It's just been a whole lot of fun.
Yes.
I mean, probably not for them. Well, I'm sure Johnny Depp looks like he's having a fabulous time, but because his dog is not stepped on one bee.
Oh, and then you have to make the face. My dog stepped on a bee.
Yeah. Like what was that face even for? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. And there's a whole TikTok thing where people are saying things that rhyme with it, and then they make a face like, my dad has to pee. Or I wish M&Ms were free.
I wonder if Amber Heard has seen like the memes that she's quickly becoming.
I don't think she would be happy if she has.
No, I would say her Hollywood career, if it's not over now, by the end of the trial, it probably will be.
Hey, Lifetime Movie Network will always take you.
I'm sure they would. The Amber Heard, Johnny Depp story.
Yep.
And Johnny Depp's going to be played by a super ripped.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's going to be played by Johnny Depp. You put them together in one
Yeah.
movie. Yes, I will watch that movie. I'll DVR it. I'll own it on 4K. I think that'll be hilarious. Let's do it. Sign the petition.
Yeah.
Let's get that started.
Ben Compton is here for Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. Thanks for stopping by, Benjamin. And Hoarder's Hide, Scott is here. So thanks for stopping by as well. We're doing DC Comics news right now. I do have some more news, but there's one thing that's kind of on the verge of, since we're talking about the movie side, something that I learned this week that I didn't know. Do you remember in the Superman, I think it was the Superman 2 movie. I'm talking Christopher Reeve here, okay?
Okay.
Do you remember when he saves this little boy in Niagara Falls that went over the falls? And you remember? Okay. Forgive me for not knowing that actor's name, but what I learned this week is that actor that played that little boy that Superman saved, his nephew is Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Season 4 out now, by the way.
Yes. As is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
As is Obi-Wan Kenobi. But that's a Marvel property, and I don't want to talk about it. And it makes me sad. That's interesting. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either, but
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if they're going to do some kind of reference, like give him a Superman t-shirt or something. Just a little, like a super subtle wink.
So far right now, Stranger Things has been more Marvel. Well, I say it's been more Marvel, but in last season, and I've only watched one episode of this season, but in last season, a Copper Age Wonder Woman comic book was shown on the show.
Very cool.
The character 11 was reading an issue of Wonder Woman, which was accurate for the year that was supposed to be taking place.
It would be funny if it didn't come out yet and they just didn't bother to do any kind of research.
No, they researched that.
In
other DC Comics news, Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez, our new creative team for Batman, starting with issue number 125. It's going to be a storyline called Batman Failsafe. And to really announce this, they just released a moving trailer for it. So that's online, and that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yes, I think Jorge Jimenez is very good talent for DC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of Batman comic book news, Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler, number 1, by Tom King and Mitch Gerads. Geradas? Geradas. I don't know. Geradas. Yeah, it's a Pokemon. There's a series of these. Let me share my screen because they're kind of cool. Which screen is it?
While you're doing that, I will say hello to Flashpoint Comics, who's here in the chat for Fanboys Live and the Retro Review.
What's up,
and we say hello to Super Russ 9000. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend.
So this is interesting. This is going to be a series of books. So you have One Bad Day, Riddler number 1, Tom King and Mitch Geradas. Batman One Bad Day, Two-Face. It's a different artist and writer on every book. We have the Penguin, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
I'm excited for this one. This is going to be kind of cool. Yeah, this cover on this one.
Yeah, that cover is good.
That cover is good. But yeah, that's looking coming out. We got some Bane coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Williamson one. That one's awesome. Clayface. I think I'm going to get these. These look pretty dope.
Nice. These are Black Label, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's also a Ra's al Ghul one, but they didn't have a cover for it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say.
Didn't I see a Catwoman one up there too that didn't have a cover?
Did it?
Up a little higher.
Catwoman, yep.
Catwoman.
Right, a Catwoman one. So that's written by G. Willow Wilson. I tell you what, I'm not a fan of her writing, but I'll still buy the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm very excited for this one.
Nice.
What do you think?
I think it looks good.
Worth a pickup, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that's pretty cool. I like it when they do cool stuff like that. These little one-off, similar to DC Black Label. It didn't say that these are Black Label, but they still possibly could be.
Okay.
I love it when they do stuff like that. Word on the street is they're doing one for Batman. They're doing one for Superman. They're doing one for Wonder Woman. Allegedly. I think it'd be pretty interesting. If they do all three of those characters, I'll buy all three of those books.
Yeah.
I think that's a very unique concept. And it just goes, hopefully, just goes to showcase more the rivalry that particular hero has with that villain, which I think would be very beneficial. And especially they're all little contained books, so we'll see.
Sure. Hello to Nashad. We appreciate you just popping in to say hi, and we hope that you're having a great holiday weekend with the kids.
Enjoy.
Yeah. So does that wrap up our news portion?
Yeah, that does it. That does it.
Okay, cool.
For me, for sure.
So I mentioned that our retro review, which is what we're segueing into right now, is a treasury-sized edition. You want to explain what that means, Tony?
Yeah, that means somebody somewhere with a shrink ray or a blow up ray printed these huge comics. And here I have another. So here's for those of you who aren't familiar with treasury. So here's the size of a regular comic. So these are pretty large. And
they're about the size that the original art probably was.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this is a not a standard, bag and board. It's called a treasury bag and board. So normally these contain several different stories.
Yeah.
Like this one, for example. This one has 4 stories in it.
And a lot of times they're reprints.
They are reprints. Yeah, I don't think any of them are really originals, except for there's a handful that are.
Yes, they came later on towards the end of the treasuries, and they started calling them all new treasury editions. And things like the Superman versus Shazam that you showed.
Yes,
that is an all original story. We've before reviewed Superman versus Muhammad Ali. That's an all original story.
Yeah,
Superman versus Wonder Woman. There's a Superboy in the Legion of Superheroes. That's all new. So there are some originals out there. Hello to Kenneth Bird. Thanks for stopping by tonight
I think
for Fanboys Live.
This one falls into a weird category because it's not an original story, but it's not a reprint either. It's just more of like it showcases villains and powers, and it's more like a who's who. I wouldn't really give it a story, but I just dove into these really like not long ago, and I have here the first one that I ever had, which was a gift from the Magic Lasso.
Yes.
So I still have this one. It is definitely one of my favorites. The reprint of Wiz Comics #1, Captain Marvel. But guess what the theme is in mine?
Yes. So what we're going to do is just pull a story out from something that was featured in a treasury. Now, I believe tonight the ones that we selected are reprints, which means that these not only were in a treasury, but they were reprinted from an original size comic book sometime in the past.
Correct. And what I like about some of them, and I think I know why they're not rare, but when you do find them, they are pretty expensive, is because of all the stuff you could do in the book. Like, here's like some 3D cutouts.
Diorama.
Yeah, it's some dioramas. So, obviously growing up, because this one came out in 1974, obviously the age before the internet. So, for fun, kids would just do the activities in the book.
Yeah, there's crosswords or word search or little mazes that you have to find. You have to find your way through the maze and stuff like that. And trivia.
Lots of trivia. Lots and lots of trivia. These, when we could do a whole episode just talking about nothing but treasuries, and I'll talk about a single story. But these, I've seen plenty of these out in the wild now. Now that I have them, they're everywhere, and maybe I just was blind. But I want to, definitely. Wouldn't it be cool if they could get graded? Because they're pretty large.
Yeah, they are large, but they're awesome.
They are awesome. I would love to send. I thought about getting Dick Giordano to sign my Superman and Shazam cover, but
He's kind of passed away.
he's kind of gone.
Yeah,
And I forgot that he passed, and I was like, I
he
wonder what
did.
cons he's going to be at. And I was like, oh, none. Okay.
None. Yeah. Maybe there is treasury size grading, but that's only for prominent members.
Yeah, prominent members of the comic book community.
Shots fired.
Hashtag thanks CGC. Yeah. Would be great if you get an autograph on one of these. I think that'd be pretty unique.
Yeah.
But you'd almost have to get it witnessed with a COA,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. But
Probably when you stop and think about it, though, since a lot of the treasuries, a fair amount of them included, reprinted material.
Yeah.
Most of those creators have passed by this point.
Oh, yeah.
However, there is one person that I can think of for sure that did treasuries that is still with us and is still doing conventions. Jose Garcia Lopez.
Yes, it's right. And he
did a few treasuries. So that would be the guy that I would, at least if you want to get a treasury sign, that's the route I would go.
I wonder what treasury. Do you know which ones he did?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show one of them for my book show later tonight.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to kick things off? Do you want to do your story first?
Yeah, I can do my story first.
Let me pop up my screen here.
First of all, the treasury that I chose, I'll go big for just a second here, is limited collector's edition. Took it out of the bag and the board. This is C25, and it's a Batman themed one. And recently, one of my friends just gifted me, thank you, Mr. Fridgeart, 5 treasury editions, which was such an awesome surprise. And I was so excited about that. And I decided to use one of the stories from this treasury that's reprinted. This is called Hate of the Hooded Hangman. And it's a reprint. Now, while this treasury came out in 1974, in early 1974, it's a reprint of a Detective Comics story that was published in September of 1966. So we're going to, as soon as I flip to the right page. Oh, by the way, for the thumbnail for this video, it's one of the pinups. Sometimes you got really cool, and let me go big for this. Sometimes you get really cool pinups that you didn't see anywhere else. And this is where I snagged the image for the thumbnail of today's video. I just thought that was an awesome image.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So we're getting started with a retro review right now. Here we start out with our big splash page. This is a John Broome story with Carmine Infantino art. And we got Batman in the splash saying, the Hangman has snapped a full Nelson on me. One of his wrestling holds. I got to break it or he's going to break my neck. So as we start out the story, we see the Hangman, who is not cared for. He's kind of the villainous wrestler in Gotham. And they're reminding everyone of the Hangman's rules because he never gets defeated. But if someone would defeat him, they get to unmask him and reveal his secret identity. So his adversary in the beginning is the Panther of the Plains, the Arizona Apache. So everyone's rooting for the Apache because they don't really like Hangman. And we see in the audience, we got Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. They're watching, and they'd kind of like to see the Hangman unmasked too. They'd like to know who he is. But Hangman he's taken over and doesn't look like he's going to get defeated this time. And he doesn't. So Hangman wins again. So as they're getting ready to leave, Dick Grayson says to Bruce, we're supposed to be 2 of the world's greatest detectives as Batman and Robin. Why don't we give ourselves an assignment of uncovering the Hangman's secret identity? And he says, well, that's tempting. So they decide to do that. And then the next day, Bruce tells Dick that he has to stay home. He can't go out fighting crime like he has the last couple of nights because he has to study. So Batman's out in the town. He hears some sirens. He goes to run, and there's the Hangman. So Hangman says, I didn't rob this store. I'm innocent. He kind of grabs Batman. Batman punches him. Hangman just whaps him a good one and starts his wrestling moves on him. And he wins. And he's about to reveal Batman's identity because he's like, well, that's the deal. If someone beats me, I reveal their identity. But as he goes to, he hears the screech of the sirens. So he runs away. And later on, he'll have a little regret about not doing that. So we get into the second part of the story. I'm wondering, Tony, if they didn't cut some pages out of there.
Yeah, it's completely out of order. Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
That's okay. We didn't know.
You know what? I'll go full screen a little bit and help you guys out. So
Sure.
We're in the second part of the story where Bruce and Dick are talking again, and Bruce says, I'm going to go out. You know, you're staying home again. You got midterms to study for. I'm going to go out, try to find this hangman. But his voice sounded so familiar to me. So as they go out, he finds the hangman again. He hears someone screaming for the police. So Hangman gets there. He puts Batman in this move, and he's about to get the best of him. Batman gets a little bit back at him. You got a good old zop and a chuck there going on. And Hangman says, we'll meet another time. And he leaves. So Batman's already found out that he didn't commit the first robbery. And he's starting to think, well, maybe he didn't commit the second robbery, but it's kind of odd that he's in these places where these robberies have been taking place. So as we move on with the story, they have the TV on, and it's the voice of the TV newscaster. And Batman's like, that sounds familiar. That sounds like it could be Hangman's voice. And they think that it's Tellman Davies could possibly be the hangman. So Batman has decided to come up with a plan. So Batman attends the wrestling match where Hangman is competing at. And after Hangman takes down his victor, Batman says, well, you want to crack at me? And Hangman's like, well, you know my rules. If you lose, and you're going to, like you have before, we're going to reveal who you are. So Hangman's them up onto the roof, which I didn't understand why they wanted to go to the roof. And he's going after Batman, and there's some folks watching, and he defeats Batman. And he goes to take Batman's cowl off, and it's the newscaster as Batman. Well, what's going on here? Well, Batman says, putting on makeup to look like Tellman Davies, the TV news announcer, was such a wise trick because it allowed me to get my win back, and then I could take the hangman out cold and reveal him as the true hangman. So it's revealed that TV newscaster, Tellman Davies, is the hangman, and he's kind of skipped town as Batman's talking with Commissioner Gordon. We do see right at the end, though, that there's a boat bound for South America with a figure kneeling over the rails. And he says, when I think that I could have exposed Batman's secret identity instead of him exposing mine on our very first encounter near that pawn shop after I had knocked him out, I almost had the mask off my hated rival. Then suddenly the police siren sounded. I should have ignored it. They had nothing on me, but instead I ran and I panicked, lost my nerve. That was my trouble. I lost my nerve and my chance with it. Yeah. And that's the end to our story.
What a great story.
And then next to that, you have How to Draw Batman.
Awesome. Neat little story. That's interesting. I wonder if that's the only time the Hangman has ever made an appearance in this little story.
I'm not sure about that, but one thing I did read, and that I wish Tim was here for this, because I think he would have found this interesting, is, let me find my note down here. This story was adapted into a Bat manga story called The Hangman of Terror.
Ooh.
So
it's right.
It influenced someone somewhere. Maybe it influenced Justin. Hey, no good comments. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh man. Yeah.
And apologies for that too. That site must have removed some pages because.
Well, I'm noticing when you held it up, it cut off the puzzles, which on the backside was the story.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was super jumping around. So
gotcha.
And honestly, I was going to show the pages out of mine too because I couldn't find mine online at all.
Okay.
But mine is pretty cool. So I'm going with, and they all have different numbers. So this is treasury number C-27.
Yep.
Shazam stories. So this particular story is called The Marvel Family and the Trio of Terror. Pretty awesome. So it's about the Marvel family. See if I can figure out where you guys are. Oh, here we go. So it's about the Marvel family. They're attending a circus. And as their, Shazam personas, almost said fursonas, but Comic Fu 14 is not here. um, and these circus guys are absolutely hounding the Marvel family to get them to sign a contract. And they said, no, we are not going to be part of your circus. So they decide, okay, well, let's just say some magic words. Where is it? Right? No, right there. It's backwards. So let's just say some magic words to get these bad guys here. And we'll just showcase some bad guys, right? We don't need the Marvel family. So obviously it goes well according to plan. And the Marvel family see that. So they decided, oh no, we got to stop these demons, so to speak. And their names are, and one of these panels, oh, I skipped a page. There we go. Maybe I skipped 2 pages. Nope, that's it. Okay. I thought I had their names, but I guess it does not. Oh, here they are. The Styre, the Hydra, and the Argus. And there they are, right there. So some good looking dudes right there. Yeah, so it goes pretty off the rails. The Shazam family, remember, they're based off of magic, and these demons, I guess, have magic abilities, so they give them a run for their money. And each member of the Shazamly gets to fight like their own little villain, which I think is pretty cool. And one of the biggest running jokes for this particular story, after each, where is it? Right here. After each Marvel person, each Shazam dude or lady defeats a villain, this guy comes running out of nowhere trying to get them to sign a contract, which I thought was pretty funny. And obviously they've said no before. Where is? Oh, it's tough to do it like this. Where is that one right here? Where is the one that Mary Marvel does? Yeah, so the head circus guy, I don't think he's named, he's just head circus guy, is in his office trying to figure out a way to charge people and make money, and he'll be rich. And he's attacked by the double-headed guy, and Mary Marvel comes in somewhere right there. She saves the day. And again, they say, hey, sign this contract. We'll make millions of money. And he says no. And then Captain Marvel Jr., Freddie Freeman, defeats his bad guy. And again, he gets hounded for a contract. It does not work. And at the end, they decide once they clean up things, they're going to go home. And later on, they get home and they're checking out the newspaper. And it seems like their antics were witnessed. And now they're talking about Captain Marvel movies. They're talking about this big movie deal. And that kind of wraps up this story. But they're like, oh, man, movies? Like, maybe we should have signed a contract. Kind of funny. But short, sweet. Yeah, Shazam number C-27. And just like what you had inside of this one somewhere, there's a couple of really good pieces of art I want to highlight. Like this one of Freddie Freeman, Captain Marvel Jr. That one is pretty awesome. There's one more great one in here that's escaping me. I should have remembered what page it was on, but that would have been a good idea. And those ones I don't have very well. I think it was, yep, here it is.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. and you have the acronym on the bottom of what stands for what. So this is pretty cool.
Very nice.
So if you see these in the wild, I definitely recommend picking them up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's say hello to some folks that have joined us during the retro review. Bronze Age Brian is here. He picked up some awesome books at MegaCon that he's been sharing, so that's cool.
Seems like everyone had a great time at that con. I've been checking out people's content.
Paul S. has stopped by. We appreciate seeing you tonight on this holiday weekend. And Glenn Clark stopped by as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all being here and everyone watching on the rewind as well. By the way, sub everyone up that's in the chat so you can discover the content that folks are creating, because you don't want to miss out. There's so many incredibly talented people in this community. And if you're not sub to them, please take this opportunity to do so. And the links for us, the fanboys, are in the description for this video too. Jeff showed up. Hey Jeff, Kennedy's Comic Kid. I know he had a great MegaCon experience. So that's awesome. Good to see you, Jeff. So yeah.
Yeah, but treasuries.
I agree with you about Treasury Edition. There's something to me about seeing these stories in such a big format that makes it feel extra special, especially the original stories. To me, it feels more like an event.
It does. I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Looking for Justice League of America one? That's a good one.
There's a Super Friends one also that actually predates the Super Friends comic book. So they reprint some Justice League stories inside the Super Friends one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
These, how cool would it be if they brought these back?
They have sort of, kind of. And I guess I'll explain what I mean as I segue into the book show portion. Right. So we mentioned that Jose Garcia Lopez had done some original treasuries. And one of my favorites is Superman versus Wonder Woman, the battle you never thought you'd see.
Wow.
And then on the back, and yes, believe it or not, this is a clear board in this bag.
Do you like those?
Yeah, I do.
They're
a little costly, but I do like them.
They're worth it if they got great, art on the back.
Yeah. So, and when I say that they're sort of kind of available, they've been done as hardcover facsimiles, and they call it tabloid size, but they are the same size. And some of the more all original treasuries, like this one and Superboy and the Legion and Superman and Muhammad Ali, are available and still in print in this hardcover tabloid edition too. Or you can find them on Amazon if your LCS doesn't have them.
Very cool. But I think they should bring these back, not reprint the original treasuries that were
original material.
Not necessarily original material, but like, okay, these stories are from the, from, let's just say 75 on down. That would be great if we can get one like printed now from stories that happened, 5-6 years ago to like the 1980s. You know what I mean? Just classic short series. And it would be even better if they made them out of the same paper. Yeah. Because they'd be cheap. And everyone could get their hands on them. Which I think would be pretty cool. So that's my 2 cents about treasuries. I really enjoy them. It's a shame they're not doing stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, it is. I remember as a little kid going to, the closest LCS to me was an hour away, and it was in a different state, as a matter of fact. But when the chances or the times I get there, they would have this huge cardboard box on the floor in the back of the store full of treasuries. And I mean, the box was overflowing with treasuries, and they were $1 each.
Wow. That's awesome. It's I like that comment. I like that. My mom told me she spent the $2. Yeah. I would have bought a couple for $2.
Yeah. I need to get the original. Because there were 2 Superman versus Spider-Mans. I have the second one, but I need that original one. And it looks like I'm going to need to pay at least $120 to get a copy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's unfortunate. It really is.
Do you have a book show, Tony?
I do. I have a couple books I want to show off here.
Sure.
So yeah, treasuries. I don't have as many as Lasso. He's got way more than me, but the ones that I do have, I'm very happy to have in my collection, um, for a number of reasons. But we'll kick things off here with not that screen because it's not available, but this one. this is my first treasury, and this was an AOK from Mr. Magic Lasso himself. Pretty cool. Next one I have is the Secret Origins of Supervillains. This
nice.
one's pretty cool. This one is pretty cool. Sorry about the glare, but it just goes into depth about supervillains and kind of their, I don't want to say origin story, but like why they're evil kind of thing, which is pretty awesome.
Do you know that there is a second volume of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I've been looking at it, but I can't find one that's in good enough shape for me to just pull the trigger on for the price. The classic Superman versus Shazam.
That's a fantastic one.
This is a good one. This one is a good one. And I realized that, yes, this one is original, and that means it's, it's, I guess, the story they wrote just to print this out, just like the Muhammad Ali versus Superman one. But it was heavily inspired by the Superman and Shazam battle in Shazam when he came to DC Universe Volume 1, let's say issue 35 or 36, I don't remember. But it's when you go and look at it, they almost take scenes from it. They tweak it a little different, which I thought was pretty funny.
Is that the one where they're each coming from like a different diagonal position and about to collide?
Yeah, and there's all kinds of different members of the Justice League down below. That's pretty funny. Some of these were gifts from silver-haired Bronze Age Babe, so that's kind of cool. So shout out to her.
She's awesome.
She's very awesome, and thank her very much for these. For all you Shazam TV fans, growing up, this was a little bit before my time, but I remember watching this show on reruns when I really started getting like DC animated stuff, right when I was about 13 or 14. So I went back and checked some of these out. But I could see why these are really appealing as a kid. I remember watching one of these episodes, and it was about amateur ham radio and how it was going to change the future. And I was like, man, this episode did not age well.
What I remember from watching those episodes was don't hitchhike.
Don't hitchhike. You're absolutely right. Yep. One more here, and that's going to do it for me. But this is pretty cool too. This blue Shazam one. Nice. So there's a couple different. Man, that glare is awful. So that's a little bit better. A couple different Shazam. This exact treasury, but the cover is yellow with different stories printed on the inside, which is kind of neat. And I didn't know that. And I guess, I just was looking up some of these and I found one. It's another one that I really want to get. I want to get all the Shazam treasuries for obvious reasons, but I think I've got a pretty good start.
Yeah, you do.
For sure. And that's my book show.
Nice. So what's going on the Tony Fett channel?
Oh man, you know what? So much is happening. As you can see behind me, I'm slowly working at this. Let's see if I can get this on here. I've got a big old stack of books that need to be put away. I've got some Walmart packs in here. I almost have every Walmart pack.
Nice.
Almost. There's a few that I'm missing.
Are you going to keep them sealed or are you opening them?
If I can get my hands on multiple copies of them, I will open them. Okay. But the ones that I can only have one, I'm not going to open them. I'm going to keep them sealed. I'm going to do some cool rearranging of my collection between the two giant file cabinets here. Some of the stuff has to get moved around in order to make room for some modern runs and some runs that are coming to an end. And the Signature King is making his debut very soon.
Nice.
On my YouTube channel.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've got some stuff filmed. I utilized all kinds of cool stuff, including my green screen. now that I have access to the entire Adobe Creative Cloud, I've really been utilizing that. It's been a learning curve, but I've been down. I'm really good at it now. At least in my opinion, I'm really good at it. I may be like a rookie, but a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe. But I just got to have the time to like do it. My editing time is pretty limited, about an hour and a half every day.
And that can get ate up pretty fast when you're editing. So
it does, especially if you go down rabbit holes like, hey, look up this tutorial, which leads to this tutorial, which leads to this tutorial. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I just blew 45 minutes just like looking, I've done nothing, or, because I got a bunch of little ones running around that don't like to sleep. So that's always fun.
I want to address something in the chat, but first I want to talk about what's going on with my channel right now.
Sure.
So let's talk about what we've done, what this past week was. Sometimes I have to remember exactly what this was. So I did a couple YouTube shorts. I did a What Was I Reading? So
how'd they turn out?
What's that?
How'd they turn out view-wise?
That one was very low.
Okay.
I think most people just don't care what I'm reading, and that's okay because it really is okay. If you're only going to watch, one of my shorts, I'd prefer you to watch the back issue of the week, because I always try to put some nuggets of information in those, almost trivia type stuff. And we had a DC Comics one this week, and I did use it's an Aquaman one. There's an Aquaman comic book that's the back issue of the week, and I did use Amber Heard as a hashtag, and the views were higher than normal. Not as high as they have been, but they were up there. I mean, it wasn't even 100, but either I get like 10 views or I get 900 views. This was neither. So, and then I had a video on Tuesday, New World Order Comics. That's Biggie Shaq. I won a prize from him, and I did an unboxing. I had no idea what to expect. And there are a lot of laughs in that video. You just see me laughing, and I tickled myself opening up that box, and just got tickled and started laughing, and I had a few different parts. So that's what was on my channel already. So coming up, we have another back issue of the week, which will drop tomorrow, and it's a DC title. I'm staying in the Copper Age of DC Comics for the back issue of the week tomorrow. And a little bit of trivia, especially at the end, concerning this character and who inspired this character. And maybe you don't know this, so it'd be cool if you check it out. On Tuesday, I have a video. It's an all Avengers haul. So this is Marvel, but I've recently gotten 10 Avengers or Avengers themed comic books, and I show those off that I've added to my collection in the video dropping on Tuesday. And then on Friday, because it will be the first Friday of a new month, we'll have Cover By, and Comics for Thomas and Cookie from Just a Little Podcast will join us. It will be DC Comics themed, and it's a recent DC comic. So recent that it's probably still on your LCS shelf. It's a book that we have talked about during the news section several times on this show. And we look between the A and the B cover, and it's kind of a difficult choice. So you can check that out here on my channel this upcoming week.
Very cool. I know you put out some good stuff.
Thanks.
For sure. I think one of your channels, one of the more underrated ones on YouTube, that's for sure, under 1,000 subs. And it's surprised that you haven't breaking that ceiling yet. It really is. Because it seems like for every one video I put out, you put out 3 or 4 really good ones. And it's like, man, and then for every 3 or 4 good ones you put out, I put out like maybe half a good one.
I think your content's really good. So
I've had some luck with the shorts, but lately I've been in the same boat for you. Either I'll get 10 views or it'll just explode for no reason. And the ones that I want to explode don't.
Exactly. The ones that I think, oh, this is going to be the one, do nothing. And then ones that I don't think anything of, that's the one that does it. So
yeah. I've done some editing to shorts. I just uploaded the most recent of my short, the Glow in the Dark Dead Man #1. That was completely edited on my computer, which is a first for me. And it took off. So it made no sense to me. And that's the only thing different that I did. I kept the same hashtags and everything. All of a sudden just takes off. But
So the comment that I want to address before we wrap up here is Paul's comment too, since this was a treasury-sized edition. How many people try and collect the digest ones? And DC made many more digest books than they made treasury books. That's a great comment, and I'm so glad that you brought this up, Paul. I do collect digest ones, but I'll tell you, my problem with the digest ones, I always feel like I'm going to hurt the book if I try to read it, where I don't feel that with the treasuries because they're so big that they just open up so naturally. But the tiny digest ones, I always feel like I'm going to do some damage to it. So I'm always reluctant in reading them. But I have a good, fair chunk of digest sized books.
What size is a digest book?
I tell you what, if you give me just a couple seconds, I can grab a couple for you. There's a couple,
sure,
not within hands reach, but pretty close.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. So while he's doing that, let me show you guys. This. I don't even know what you would call this thing. I don't know what it is. See if I can put it a little bit closer here. So they have like exclusive interviews. That's terrible angle. I'm sorry. Exclusive interviews with writers and artists, and they talk about upcoming movies. And it's called The World of DC Comics, which is pretty awesome.
I only have one of those, and I want more of those.
How many are there? This was an AOK from silver-haired Bronze Age babe. I almost said bronze-haired Silver Age babe.
I think there's about 16, 17 of them.
Really?
At least? Yeah.
That was the first time I ever even saw one.
Yeah, those are magazine-sized.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. So folks asked about, or you asked about, and these are the closest to me, and forgive me for, these are some of my original childhood ones. They just were the closest ones to me. So this is how tiny we're talking.
I think I've seen a couple of those. Maybe not. I don't remember.
This has got a great back cover to it.
Ooh, you're right. That is kind of nice. Geez, I wonder if those are even slabbable.
Yes, they are, because they just put them in a regular size.
Right.
Comic book one. So
interesting. I don't think I've ever seen those.
I have a good handful of them. These all original ones from my childhood that I read and loved, and some of these I've been replacing as well and upgrading my copies of them too.
Okay.
So, and just to give you some perspective between the two.
Oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. See if I can find it here. Here it is. You want to talk about tiny comics? I think I have you beat. So here's the treasury, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the little cereal and little gum candy ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, it's somebody slabbed one of these once I saw. So
yeah,
I might do it just because it's fun.
You got it, Glenn.
Yeah, they are. They really are. I think I've seen a few of those, but I didn't realize what they were or if they're even collectible. Is there a market for those? I mean, there's a market for everything.
Yeah, there are.
But I'll have to keep my eye out for those. Do they just have reprints of stories or?
No, a lot of those are original stories. Some of the digest ones have some reprints in them early on, and then they start going to all original stories. But some of like the books that you showed, the little tiny ones that were with the candy or that were in cereal, some of those were all original stories.
Yeah, I know this one's an all original.
I
think. Yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty tiny because they fit in your hand.
Yeah, they're like eight pages or so, something like that.
I think it. So. Yeah, 8 pages of the Green Lantern Secret Origin. Okay.
Yeah, but sometime we'll have to devote some time for the tiny sized.
Yeah, we did the
extra large. We'll do the tiny size. I tell you, if anyone needs one of those tiny books, it's Adam.
They should. Oh, come on. Why don't they? And Giganta should get a treasury.
Exactly. Thank you all for spending time on your holiday weekend here on my channel. If you're watching on the Rewind, we appreciate you still devoting your time here to check out what Tony and I had to say on this week's Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. We'll see you again next week on one of the rotating channels. Make sure to sub everyone up in the chat, and links to the Fanboys channels are in the description for this video as well. Have a fantastic and safe rest of your day.